This place has been kicked, it's been battered, it's been bruised, and I can sit up here and give you coach speak all day long. I can give you, hey, we're going to win this many games. I can't. None of that matters, and you guys don't want to hear it anyway. You've had enough of that shit. So excuse my language. All right. Here's what I do know is that this team is going to take on the identity of this city. All right. And this city's been down, and it found a way to get up. All right. It's found a way to overcome adversity. All right. And so this team's going to be built on, we're going to kick you in the teeth. All right. And when you punch us back, we're going to smile at you. And when you knock us down, we're going to get up. And on the way up, we're going to bite a kneecap off. All right. And we're going to stand up. And then it's going to take 2 more shots to knock us down. All right. And on the way up, we're going to take your other kneecap and we're going to get up. And then it's going to take 3 shots to get us down. And when we do, we're going to take another hunk out of you. Before long, we're going to be the last one standing. All right. That's going to be the mentality.
All right. Hey, as you guys know, that was our new head coach, our new commander-in-chief. That was the man himself, Dan Campbell. I'm sure you guys got to catch that press conference earlier today. But, hey, I'm happy to be here. It's an exciting time to be a Lions fan. We have a new head coach in the building. We have a new GM. But, before we get started, I got to say hi to the people in the panel and definitely the people in the chat. Love you guys for already being in here and waiting. That's awesome. J-Mo, man, what's going on with you, man?
What's good, Lions fans, man? Dan Campbell is the GOAT already. Like I've already said it. We don't know what he's gonna do on the field, but he check off the personality box, man. I want to play for the Detroit Lions just so I can play for him, and I'm dead serious. So it's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be fun. Shout out to all the people in the chat. Make sure you guys like the video.
Hey, yes, that is definitely the case. Definitely like that video. It helps us. It'd be we'd be very grateful for that. And what's up to everybody in the chat? And Marcel, this is a guest on the show. He's been working with the DSA past few weeks, I believe. What's going on, Marcel?
Nothing much. This is actually my 3rd time doing something like this. The first 2 times were with Luke G, and I really enjoyed it. Let's see what we have today. And Side note, I've run over 2 walls today, and I do not care if I get concussions. I'm ready to work right now.
That seems like it's contagious in Detroit right now, man. Dan Campbell has us suited up, ready to play, jumping through walls. He just has everybody hyped up, man. And I'm just so excited after that press conference. And it's such a typical Lions fan thing to be, right? Like, when I first heard the hiring, I was like, who the hell is Dan Campbell? And then, you hear about it and you start drinking the Kool-Aid and you get more informed about him. And then you hear a press conference like that. And how can you not be excited after that? Man, but I mean, that's going to, take us into we're just going to get started, and get right to the meat of it, because Dan Campbell, he comes off like a straight shooter. And he just gets right to the point, and he's very, very real. So we're going to get right to the main event. And, so Dan Campbell, he's been named the new head coach. Most recently, he's known for being the assistant coach on the Saints. He was also the interim coach for the Dolphins after they fired their coach after starting 0-4. He went 5-7, which is, a decent record for an 0-4 start to the season. And then today he had a fiery press conference. Super excited to hear it. Where he spoke about a lot of things. Spoke about the identity of him and Brad Holmes, our new GM. He talked about the vision and what he wants to bring to this team. He talked about toughness. He talked about a lot of things. But I guess the question I want to bring out for you guys is, first of all, did you watch the press conference? And, what were the takeaways? What do you think about Dan Campbell after hearing what he had to say, J-Mo?
Yeah, man, I watched I came in the press conference a little bit after a few of the questions started, but then I rewatched it and saw the beginning, and I actually saw it was hilarious. Me and Sheila Ford were saying the exact same thing about Dan Campbell, and I never knew what she said in the first place when I did my video earlier. So, and I just find that very hilarious, and I understand. I will say the reception when we hired this guy, a lot of players were talking him up, and I understand why they're inspired, and I understand why he's a high character guy and why the players in Miami like this guy. You can tell this guy's a pure leader and it's genuine, like nothing's fake about him, and he's just trying to do something for the city because he actually, he was here when we were 0-16. Let's just say it. So he knows everything and all of the pain of being here and how we need a winner here. And I feel like he's focused. He's going to treat people like human beings, how they're supposed to be treated. And he's all my main thing is he's all about this one heartbeat, having everybody on one accord, having, all your coordinators and the GM agreeing and, no disagreements, but ways to work and build together. And that's one thing that we do need, or we need to get back to, that one heartbeat type of philosophy where everybody's on one accord. And he's talking about his staff. It's a lot of philosophical things he said, man. Dan Campbell, I'm sold right now. I'll just say this. I don't know what's going to happen on the field, but it was the best press conference I ever seen. So, like, I don't know. Like, look, we don't know what's going to happen on the field, but you can't say that press conference wasn't amazing. Like, it was phenomenal. So I'm just going to be honest. So
it was, man. It did the job, because what he really needed to do, there's nothing he could really tell us, right? It's not like he had extensive time.
Exactly.
Yeah, so like really all he could do is provide hope, and that's exactly what he brought, man. Like, I'm hopeful for the future after listening to him. And we got Luke G joining us. What's going on, Luke G?
Man, listen, I came in with a plan to be in peace, but my kids need fathers. So I'm here. I'm excited. I've been listening. I was like, yo, I got to get in here. We got to talk some football. It is what it is.
All right. Well, let's go to you next then. You obviously heard the press conference. I heard your live stream earlier today after the press conference, so I know you heard it. What did you think about what he said, and what do you think he's going to bring to the table for the Lions?
The number one thing he brings to the table is somebody that you can respect. I mean, he didn't just get the attention of the fans; he got the attention of the national media. There's another guy. Yeah. Everybody know who he is on YouTube. He talks about the Vikings. Even he's like, God, I wish the Lions would have just went with Bevel instead of going with this guy. And to me, just going off of that alone tells me that, hey, he's going to be better. I told people before we even knew who he was, I said, even if it is him, we still winning 9 games because the players are going to want to play for him. The whole biting off the kneecaps stuff, that's cute. But the reality is that was a beacon. It was literally a call to people to say, if you come here ready to play, or I'm not playing with you. And that's what we needed. That's what we needed.
No, that's definitely what we needed. And it did send a message, because he said a few things. He said that they're going to toe the line of the rules. He said, we're going to find the boundary of the rules and we're going to toe that line, which means they're going to stretch the rules is what I'm hearing. They're going to try and play, quote unquote, maybe a little bit, I don't know if dirty is the right word, but hey, he's tied to the Saints. We saw what happened there in a bad way. But but I mean, he said a few things. He talked about just being tough. Obviously, the kneecap comment. He talked about just having that mentality, and he talked about not necessarily having the church choir boys, which we're kind of used to since the Caldwell era. He said he doesn't really. He embraces personalities, and he wants personalities as long as they're not a distraction. And he doesn't listen to, what media says because of his time as a player. And he knows that can, skew what you think about a person. And it's kind of just reading a book by its cover. So I liked a lot of the things he said, especially the things like that, talking about being more tough and embracing Detroit as a culture. But Marcel, man, did you listen to the press conference, and what did you think, and what do you think he could bring to the table?
I'm still at wait and see. Obviously, I'm excited from the press conference, and there's a note that I've actually taken. Out of all the press conferences I've seen from Lions coaching, this is the first one that actually relates to our pain. Like, he's been here before. He's been at the 0-16 season.
Right.
One of his teammates is still playing on the damn roster. and not to mention, this is what stuck out to me, is that he actually showed emotion, and the fact that he said, and I quote, "I wanted to be here badly."
Yeah. No, that hit me too, man. He said it a couple times, and in his interview with Tori, as well, he brought it up again. How he was telling his agent, if you can possibly get me in that building, I want that interview so bad. And yeah, I mean that honestly touched me too when he said that. Like, you don't hear that a lot from players or coaches that they want to,
especially in Detroit.
Right? Yeah. So. Go ahead, J-Mo.
Nah, but my main thing about him is he wasn't like selling no dream and trying to say we're gonna do this and do that. Like, he just being real with the fans and the fan base and the players. But like I said, the locker room is about to be so amazing. I'm like excited because I know the locker room is gonna be just a so much better atmosphere, man. And Dan Campbell, he's gonna help these guys out.
Yeah,
facts. That's facts. I mean, it's crazy because, like I said, even on my cast, I said don't take everything he say so literal. Don't take it like, oh, because talk is cheap. I said, but what he was trying to do was set a declaration. He was trying to let the people know that not only do I know where you come from, I wanted to be here. I didn't want to go nowhere else because it was a lot of choir boys here and a lot of stigmas behind this place, and that's why I said, it was a good thing that. He's going to get the people that he got for his staff because they all have this one thing in common, which is nobody believes in us. And at the end of the day, the ones who don't believe in us, they don't have to. But we're gonna make you respect us. We're gonna hit you in the mouth, and we're gonna make you respect us. And so that's exactly where you want to be. And this is one of the things this is why I knew that Patricia had to be gone, because with Patricia, it was more like, I've already made it. I'm Patricia. You need to understand that and get on board. It's like you were a nobody, and nobody respected you with your dagger time. God, I can't. Oh, that's ridiculous.
All right. I mean, he's already out of the building. We don't have to take shots at him at this point because, look,
what you mean we don't have to take
look, I'm not about that. I'm not about that.
I'll take shots.
As of this moment,
he's already down, man. He's already gone. Like,
man, what you talking
that's
about,
just kicking somebody when they're down. It's a little disrespectful.
Patricia is more known than Miami Gardens for all I know.
Man, come on, man.
All right, we got Speak Easy coming in the building too, man. What's going on? And I know that you also saw that press conference. I know that you were in the comment section too. So like, what did you think about Dan Campbell's press conference? And what do you think he's going to bring to the table based off what he said?
I think leadership is the key attribute he possesses as a head coach and for our organization. I mean, I'm definitely excited. I'm just excited, and I know you said it to quit, kicking a dead horse, but I'm just excited Patricia's gone, man. I'm excited that that era is over. I don't know what to expect from him. I already said, after last year or after the last hire, I'm no longer rating coaches before they hit the field because you just truly never know. But leadership qualities and whatnot, I think is there, and I'm pretty pumped, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the whole fan base is with you, man, for sure. And I love that, I don't know if you guys saw Pat McAfee's show today, but he was in love with him, and he kept calling him Motor City Dan Campbell, MCDC, and I think that name is pretty good, man. I think it might stick. It's pretty good. But okay, so getting into more of what he said, one thing that I love that he said, and this is not even a question, I've just got to say this, because one of the things when I heard we were going to hire him was that he doesn't have any experience calling plays. He doesn't really have that much experience, I don't think any, on the defensive side of the ball. So it really seems like, what is he trying to bring to this team from an experience standpoint? And what he said was awesome. He basically said what everybody's thinking, and he just boiled it out into the basics. And he was like, look, I want to take our best guys against their worst guys, right? I want to find the best matchups, and that's it. Exploit them. If I have to exploit them 10 times in a row until they finally cover that guy, I'm going to do that. I love that he said that, because sometimes you see a play work or a player, like you have a wide receiver dominating that cornerback, and then you stop seeing them getting targeted. And it's like, what's going on? So that kind of mindset to me just means that he wants to take things down to the granular level of football and get to the nuts and bolts, and we need to put our best players in the best position to win in the best way they can win. And I just love to hear stuff like that. But going further into kind of we didn't even talk about Brad Holmes. Let's bring that up for a little bit. So, we hired Brad Holmes as our GM. He's been the head of college scouting for the LA Rams for about 8 years. He's been in the organization for 18 years, hasn't really been in any other organization, doesn't really have any experience with salary cap management or with personnel management. But based off of that hiring and based off of what Dan Campbell said about him in the press conference, I guess, what is your favorite aspect of the hiring of Brad Holmes? And I guess what concerns you? So that's kind of a double-ended question, but let's start off with you, Marcel.
What do I like about Brad Holmes? First of all, like Dan Campbell, he seems to be in love with the sport, like in love with drafting, free agency, and all that. And I'm glad he's getting the chance to be a GM. But the thing about it is, I'm always going to have like jitters when a first-time GM in any sport. I mean, what are his plans? What are his reactions? How's he going to work with the staff? It's just like, as with MCDC, I'm going to make that a t-shirt design. I'm on a wait and see mode right now.
Okay. I think that's the right way to look at it, right? That's the optimist or the logical way to look at it. You can't really go off of anything. Nothing's been done yet. But I guess just based off of what you know about him, Luke, let's go to you, man. What do you think about Brad Holmes, and kind of based off of his experience at the Rams, is there any concerns or anything that you're optimistic about?
I mean, the two biggest things that I'm optimistic about is the fact that there is an unknown. We don't know what he is. We don't know what he want to do. We don't know how he's going to draft, how he evaluates talent. We don't know none of that. We don't know anything. I love the unknown. I also love the fact that instead of him coming in and being thrust into having to be full general manager in his first season, they said, nope, just for this season, we need you to focus on just being a scout. Get us talent. We need talent. We need playmakers. We need dogs. We need relationships. We need you to get us people who can assist. In terms of just being like flat out uncomfortable or any concerns, it's his first gig, and there's always going to be concern with that. But at the end of the day, I ain't that concerned, because guess what? He's not being asked to do the full role right now. The same thing I'm asking them to do with Stafford, they're doing it with the general manager and the head coach. Everything has been divvied up so that every person can be at their strength. And to me, that's the right direction. I'm good in that regard. I'm good with the unknown. Let's see how they adjust and how the first draft go.
Well, so Luke, do you think that salary caps and personnel decisions are going to be made by Brad Holmes, or do you think they're going to be made by Rod Wood?
I think they're going to be made by Chris Spielman, and in conjunction with Rod Wood, in conjunction with the head coach, in conjunction with the general manager. This is not one man's decision. They're done with that. They're done with that one man make the call stuff. It's a group effort. Every decision will be a group decision, and each person must play a part in their role. So I think what you're going to see is you're going to see a lot of decisions that are coming off as a group aspect, and they should be that way. Like, that's how it should be.
Okay. I mean, all right. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that, because he doesn't have any of experience with that type of with that section of the GM job, right? He doesn't have any experience doing that. And in the position that he does have experience in, the LA Rams traded their first round picks away the last 4 years. So, I mean, we don't have that much to look at. And even, when you're looking at his third and fourth rounders, it's like, great. I mean, cool. We could get some third or fourth rounders. Maybe we could get a punt returner like Pharaoh Cooper and stuff like that, but, or a tight end like Gerald Everett. But I mean, I don't know. The most hype thing that I heard was from Dan Campbell and how him and Holmes have this vision together. So maybe there's just a vision that we don't know about. But as far as experience goes and just what I know about him, I'm not that excited about Brad Holmes, to be honest with you. J-Mo, what do you think? I'm not. No, I'm not, because nothing.
Man, real way to say that.
I ain't mad at. Listen, I can't get mad at him, but I mean, but why are you not excited about it?
Oh, man.
It's not that. I just don't see anything. I don't see the vision that they said, right? So what exactly is he going to bring to the table, that a particular other GM wouldn't? I don't understand.
An advanced scouting person who can scout talent and bring talent here. The first thing he said during any interview or anything he ever did is the film tells him everything he needs to know first. It starts with the film. Then he adds in the other pieces, the combine numbers, the analytics on the other stuff. But the film is his go-to. That's the most of it.
Okay,
He's a talent evaluator.
Basically, you got a college scout as your GM. That's fantastic. But when you're talking about the GM position, it's not just about that. In a closed cap league, it's not that simple of we need to get the best college players in the building. And if he does that, great, then fantastic. But honestly, given his resume, besides Aaron Donald, I don't see the magic that he's pulled, right? But maybe I'm wrong.
You're not alone in that. I think that's fair. Like, because the other situation is like people want to throw all these numbers at you about the Pro Bowlers and stars that he's had, that he's drafted. Which again, let's keep in mind that Les Snead is the GM of that team. But when you think about the Rams' like success and that they've had in the past, they've brought in free agents, signed and made trades. They signed Ndamukong Suh. They traded for Dante Fowler, I believe his name was Marcus Peters, Aqib Talib. Those weren't drafted pieces. And another thing to go along with that is when you play with players like that alongside you, it's going to elevate your game. Therefore, you may end up in a Pro Bowl or two. I'm saying you may end up looking better than you actually are because you have that guy, next to you on the same side of the ball as you. So it's a two-way street. That's the other side of it. Looking at the Pro Bowlers and shit that people want to throw in your face. But at the same time, at this point, we have to just hope for the best and give him a chance. I do agree with you, though, that there is a whole other aspect to the GM job that he isn't familiar with,
Let me just add one thing, Luke. Sorry to interrupt you, but let me add one thing to that. I totally agree with Easy. And on top of that, with the Rams' success, like you just discussed, how most of it was through trading and through free agency acquisitions, that requires cap management wizardry. And when you bring in a guy that has almost no salary cap management, it's concerning if he wants to bring that same kind of mentality of being aggressive in the trade market and free agency. And especially in Detroit, we're not LA. We can't just bring in players that want to play here and we'll take a pay cut. You know what I mean? Like we have to overpay you most of the time. So I don't think we're going to have all of these same benefits that LA Rams had and that he had working for the LA Rams. Go ahead, Luke.
Well, I look at it like this. The part that y'all are missing is he's not asking he's not asking them to he's not asking them to do all those things. You guys are assuming that he's asking them to do things that's not being asked of him. They're asking him to find talent. It's one of the reasons why I wanted Elliott Wolf. I want the talent. Get the talent and everything else will fix itself. And so what you're starting to see is that right now they're going by the talent. They've divvied everything up. He don't got to worry about cap. He don't got to worry about. He got to worry about trades.
That makes me concerned then, because what Bob Quinn did was, hey, I'm going to bring in whoever the F I want, and I'm just going to backload all their deals so that we could pay everybody. Look at Matt Stafford's deal. Look at Trey Flowers' deal. Look at Justin Coleman's deal. Literally, if you Google their contract, all of their money is in the back end. So either you got to cut them and deal with a lot of dead money in the future, or you just got to stick with those players and have them eat a huge amount of salary cap. So I get what you're saying. And maybe they're not asking him to do that. You're right. Maybe Rod Wood, already has that down. Maybe he was doing it all with Bob Quinn and we don't have to worry about that. But that's concerning if you're saying that we have a GM and we're not even asking him to worry about the salary cap. That just means to me that we're going to be in salary cap hell in a few years, to be honest.
No, it's not, because the same person who did all those contracts is in that same role. Denser's the one who did all the contracts, and he's the one that they call the capologist and all that stuff. He's still in that same position. He's the one that's still doing the same stuff. And all they did was say, hey, we know that he's new. Rather than essentially what they did is this. They did the opposite of what Lions fans want. Lions fans want them to just trade Stafford, draft a new quarterback, everything will fix itself. It doesn't work like that. You have to ease people into these new roles so they can feel confident and comfortable in it. And I don't see a situation where it's going to hurt you to have somebody else worry about the cap where he can worry about talent acquisition. It worked just fine in the Rams. It worked fine for Kansas City. Just saying.
Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. I'm excited to see what happens for sure. Okay. Who hasn't gone talking about Brad Holmes yet? JMO, have you talked about Brad Holmes?
I haven't talked about Brad Holmes, but
What do you think, man?
I mean, look, Brad Holmes. I'm not I mean, I don't even remember what the original question was.
Basically, based off of Brad Holmes' experience, and what you've heard about him from Dan Campbell's press conference. Are you excited about Brad Holmes? Are you optimistic? Is there any concerns? Just like that.
Well, I mean, I will say I'm not like optimistic or excited. You know, I'm done with the overly like judging things before it happened. I just let the Lions pick whoever they wanted to pick. And Brad Holmes and Campbell are the people they came up with. The one thing I do like about Holmes is his ability to find talent. That's the only thing that I really find about him that I like. You know, he's supposed to have this high ability to be able to find talent. But besides that, I mean, I don't like that he's a new GM and then we have a new coach, but we'll see if the Lions are right about this. But it isn't. I'm just gonna wait and see. I'm in a lot of wait and see mode because I really want to see what he's gonna do with this draft. That's really gonna tell me way more about Brad Holmes than anything else can tell me the talent that he gets in this draft. So that's mainly what I'm looking at, and that's what I'm really gonna judge him by because that's his specialty. So we'll see what we can do with our draft picks and that whole situation.
All right, yeah, that's fair. Definitely waiting to see what happens with the draft. That'll definitely be really telling for sure. Easy, was there anything else you wanted to add about Brad Holmes before we move on?
I guess I also wanted to question, like, so the other thing people are throwing in your face too when they're trying to, like, you know, sell you on Brad Holmes is like the starters. But like, what's qualifying like a starter? I'm saying someone who starts 16 games, someone who starts like the first game of the season, because like obviously certain situations, you know, present themselves, or start situations like change. You know, you may see someone else there because of injury, and you know, maybe they're just, you know, thinner at that depth spot, or somebody has to fill in somebody else somewhere else too. Is like we'll see. I'm with JMO after the debacle with Patricia. I'm kind of just, you know, taking a seat back and allowing things to play in front of me rather than trying to predict them, because I could have been more wrong last time, just as anybody else who's, you know, in the media and whatnot when Patricia was hired.
Right. Yeah, definitely. We definitely have to wait and see. Yeah, I agree with that. Okay. So, you know, moving on to what Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell said. So in the press conference for Brad Holmes, he mentioned retooling the team. He was very careful not to say rebuild. And then Dan Campbell, he mentioned that they could start from scratch, him and Brad Holmes, with the vision that they have together. And the kind of unity that they have together. And they said that they were talking until midnight, and it seems like a great relationship that they have. But, you know, Dan Campbell also mentioned that he liked a lot of the pieces on the team, and the team might not be too far off. So the question I'm going to pose to JMO first, do you believe that the team is going to need to rebuild, or do you believe that with the pieces we have now, maybe with the right moves, we could be a contender next year or this year, maybe?
What do you mean by contender?
Well, not just, you know, not rebuild.
Yeah, like
I guess in the playoffs.
Like I'm just saying, we have to define that first.
Yeah.
But if you mean making the playoffs, is that what you mean, or winning the division? Like, or like, what are you talking about here?
I would say contending for the division, if not making the
okay,
playoffs.
Contending for the I like that, contending for the division. Okay, could we do that? Could we do that next year? No, I definitely think it is a retool though, because like you could rebuild if you wanted to destroy everything, but when you look at all of the like we have some pieces on offense to work around, and we have a few pieces on defense to work around. You really just fix the defense. Like we'll be like 12th in passing offense or something like that, or 11th. I can't remember, somewhere around that range with, you know, Patricia there. You know, like the standard had been lowered, and we didn't have Kenny Golladay for basically 11 games. So when you're looking at it like that, and then your defense was on the other end, the worst defense in the league, gave up the more points than the 0-16 Lions. So like when I'm looking at that, Yeah, you just retool and you rebuild the defense, and then you try to build from there, and you focus on running the football. And Dan Campbell is a guy that loves to run the football. So, like, and I'm not asking our defense to become a leader or anything, but you got to be respectable, like he was talking about. You know what I'm saying? You got, like, if we had just a middle of the pack defense, this team is 1,000 times better. Like, that's how bad the defense is. So,
yeah. But do you think it's the talent on defense, or do you think it was more of the scheme and what?
I think it's both. Like,
Okay.
look, like, I think, like, when you look at what happened to Tavai and like Tracy Walker and like Jared Davis and stuff like that, I'm blaming that on the coaching. But when I look at how trash Deron Harmon is, he never should have been on the field. Like, it's just like it ain't Deron Harmon's fault he being started. Like, he should have never been on the field. Like, Will Harris should never be on the field. Sorry. Like, you might come in like a couple sub packages. Like why did Mike Ford see any playing? Like, he finally saw playing time, and he was Mike Ford. Like, I don't know, why did he see it was players that didn't see playing time. So I think it's definitely a combination of both. But you definitely have, like, you have holes that you have to fill, but we have things to work around those holes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you still do have Tracy Walker, but you got to pair him with another good safety. You got to fix the linebackers. And if you sign your pass rushers back, you have some things to work with. John Pennicini is a freaking stud. Like, so you have things to work with. You got Jonah. It's just way more. It'd be much harder to get a competitive team if you destroyed everything and built from the ground up than just, getting a competitive defense. Like is that and running the football? Like, it sounds simple, but none of our freaking coaches have done it yet.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think that the talent. Yeah, I think the talent is still honestly mostly intact, and we have most of our guys under contract. If they wanted to burn it to the ground, they'd have to do a lot of contract moves, and it would cause a lot of dead money, and it'd be pretty bad. So unless they rode it and just kind of tanked, but I don't see them doing that. So I definitely see it as a retool as well. And there's really only the wide receiver position that's a huge hole this free agency. So, or in this offseason in general. Marcel, what do you think about, just what their verbiage was about retooling and rebuilding? What do you think that we're going to do? Do you think we could be competitive in the next year or two?
I say in year 3.
Okay, you think we got to build up to that, or you think we're just going to kind of, the
talent is there. I just think it's going to be a little while for the coaches and the players to actually play up to a specific scheme. So,
okay,
they do have pieces though. They have John Pennicini, they have Julian Cora, Armani O, and I believe DC said that there's more. There's more talent on the O than there is on the D. So you really got to focus on what's going on with the defense now. Are they going to remold it? Is the DC going to have a say in this? Or is your first round pick going to be specifically for defense? I mean, there's a lot of options here on where they want to go.
Yeah. No, there's definitely a lot of options that they need to go. A lot of fans say that the first pick needs to be a quarterback. Many fans are saying it needs to be defense to shore up that defense. Yeah, I don't know. Or a lot of people saying it needs to be wide receiver because we don't have a wide receiver. I don't know. I definitely don't agree with that, but
Only problem is
hell no.
Only problem is I can't name a single player in this year's draft that's worth the 7th pick that's on defense.
Not one. Not one. Not one.
All right, I won't put my foot in my mouth because I don't. It's not draft season yet, so I'm not too involved in the college players, especially after this COVID year. Luke, man, what do you think about the team? Obviously, you were a big, I guess, Patricia truther, if you want to say it that way, and you wanted him gone for a while. So now that he's gone, do you think that we're going to have to get rid of all Patricia's old guys, start a whole rebuild on defense, or do you think this really will be a retooling and just a couple pieces away from being a contender?
It's a renovation. I've been saying this for the longest. If you're 0-16 team, you don't keep nothing from that, right? Like it wasn't nothing. It wasn't like you can go in there and be like, oh, he's good. It just wasn't the level of talent that you can see. With this team, there is talent that you can keep. You're not going to scrap a TJ Hawkinson. You're not finna scrap a John Pennicini. You're not finna scrap some of these other pieces. You're not finna get rid of Trey Flower because he's serviceable. You know, there are some people on this thing that you can do. And what you're doing is you're trying to tell yourself is, okay, what does the foundation look like? If the foundation is shaky, then let me add the pieces to lock up the foundation. Then the second question becomes, okay, now that we are sure about what the foundation looks like, let's do our best to ensure that. If anybody who thinks that this is a rebuild is fooling themselves. Rebuild means you blow it all up and start over. You're not doing that with this team. You don't have to. So yes, I'm happy to see that they understood that this is a remodeling job, not a rebuild.
Did we lose our host?
Yeah, I think we lost the host.
Oh,
he's
I
back.
was about to say, wow. Okay, Real, are you back, man?
My bad. I accidentally pressed the back button. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I'm with you, all you guys for the most part, man. I don't think it's gonna be a complete rebuild. And you know, you brought up a good one, man. Dude, TJ Hawkinson, he's gonna be a stud with this Dan Campbell hiring, man. We're gonna use the F out of him. I can't wait.
Oh, absolutely.
Easy, man. What do you think about this whole conversation? Do you think it's going to be a retool or a rebuild? Do you think that we're just a couple pieces away from being a contender, or do you think we need to blow up Patricia's defense?
That thing needs to be blown up without question. We can call the retooling because we have. I believe that we're going to keep Stafford another year, and like if you have Stafford, you're going to want to compete. You're going to want to at least try to compete because, I mean, if we're keeping it real, you know, love him or hate him, Stafford's viable enough to win with. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you're gonna. I'm never gonna say like a football team will tank, but you're not giving up on a season when you have, you know, Stafford at quarterback and you know, for this last year. But it's definitely ultimately like a rebuild because we are so much further than this than like we want to believe. Looking at like the schedule and whatnot, like some of the games that we lost were just ferocious. They're just terrible, man. Like 20-0 the Panthers, I think was the score of that one. The Texans fucking ruined Thanksgiving dinner. Like fuck you, Deshaun Watson. Titans destroyed us. We had the whole debacle, you know, with the Bucks. Like if we truly think like we're just a few pieces away, like we're further than that. You know what I'm saying? We've had some ugly games this year, ugly games, and I think, you know, where we need to retool, if you want to call it, or rebuild the most, whichever word you want to use, is on the defensive side of the ball.
Well, easy. I'm just gonna push back, man, because so you're saying we definitely need to rebuild on defense, and you're clearly talking about the talent. So I guess which position group specifically are you talking about?
If I had to pick a specific position group that I wanted to address first, I think linebacker is one where there's more more need. Because you do have pieces like Tracy Walker, you know, that you know, put in the right scheme or coached right, you know, can excel and look great. But linebacker is just dismal, in my opinion.
See, but I'm sorry to interrupt, but that's kind of what I'm trying to get at, because like to me it's like, you know, if you look at the like actual roster positions, like cornerback, we're pretty straight, right? We got Okuda, Anamani Owaria, we got Trufant, you know, we're pretty set there. Safety position, Tracy Walker is still really good. You know, we might want a second safety there. The defensive line, we have a lot of people under contract, and maybe we could plug another person in to upgrade that. But, you know, don't really need, it's not very urgent to make moves there. I think a lot of it had to do with scheme, but I agree. I think that we do need to upgrade the linebacker position, maybe add a guy in the defensive line, and maybe add a safety. But to me, that's just a couple pieces. And then like on offense, it's really just wide receiver. You know what I mean? Or maybe a couple of places to upgrade. But we have so many people under contract. I honestly don't think that we need to just blow away the whole, you know, defense and start over, because I think there's a lot of talent there, just wasn't really utilized. But that's just me. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're overselling the secondary a little bit, though. A little bit overvalued on those guys.
That's what the ownership wanted, though. They don't want to just blow up everything that they were trying to build with that terrible coach over there. They want to retool it and try to salvage some things and upgrade from it. Like everything that you said is what the ownership wants. If the ownership wanted to rebuild and destroy everything, I think our hirings would have been a little bit different.
I mean, plus, listen, easy think he's slick. Easy is feeling guilty because he was one of the main people pushing that 3rd year crap for Patricia, and he's feeling guilty, and he just want to scrub it from his memory. He want to scrub it from his memory. He don't want to talk about it. The reality is this: when you look at this roster, it's all scheme. Everybody said the same thing about the Packers. They did the same thing about a lot of these other teams. Oh, they got to blow everything up. They didn't. They added a few players here and there, and they was fine. Why can't we do the same thing? Why do we got to blow everything up? Why does this fan base always have people who find ways to just make it bigger than it is? It's an anthill. That's all it is. It's not a mountain. It's an anthill. Let's keep simple, and get the talent that we need to help us. Now, if the idea is we need linebacker, and I could be wrong, but I believe you was okay with the Okuda pick. You was all for it.
It was the same situation with Brad Holmes. It's what we have now. Let's see how it rocks, because the same. Okuda's a rookie. Again, rookie, a defensive cornerback going against the most elite athletes at the receiver position. We talk about the Calvin Johnsons, DK Metcalfs. With no offseason, he was gonna struggle, man.
Dude, right. it just didn't make no sense. The reality is you don't need to do a complete rebuild. It was a scheme issue. Like J-Mo said, there was people on the field who should have never been on the field. There was people who was on this roster who should have never been on this roster. And to the people who keep on saying that we need to do this rebuild, we got to go defense. I'm asking the question: if we need to go all defense and do all the things that they're saying that we're supposed to do, my question is who's the guy that you want to take? Everybody want to say defense. Nobody want to put out a damn name. What you afraid of? Put a name out there. This is not a rebuild project. This is a total 100% remodel. You're trying to get more talent that complement each other. That's what Dan Campbell was talking about. That's what Brad Holmes talked about.
So Luke, man,
getting the talent there is building based off your talent. Like you said, your words out of your mouth, people who didn't belong on the field. That means we need to go get them. That's not a retooling. I guess by definition, retooling. I guess you're filling other tools, maybe. But the talent's just not there for me on the eyeball test on the defense. The speed, all that stuff is just horrendous on that side of the ball for us.
Who are you getting rid of? Who are you getting rid of? Who are you moving on from?
But you gotta remember the Rams.
I'm cool to move on from all of them.
I mean, the Rams. 1 year they were 4-12 with Jeff Fisher and had the same squad and won 11 games with the same team, basically. So it is definitely possible. It's something that you can do. And we gotta remember a lot of people got injured. And look, I know some of these players weren't as bad as they look out there. And we definitely do have pieces to build around with the Okoro brothers, whatever you're gonna do with that. It's definitely pieces that you can build around. If Bill Belichick was our defensive coordinator, that defense would look better. And no, we don't have Bill Belichick. Not saying we have it, but I'm saying it can be way better than what Patricia put out there and the way he destroyed these guys with his terrible scheme.
Well, there's also I honestly forgot what I was about to say. To be honest with you,
you forgot because it's ridiculous. It doesn't make sense. If all these other teams don't come in and say, "Oh, blow it all up," there's nothing you can keep. This is when you're blowing something up. There's nothing you can keep. You don't have anything that you can keep. If you're telling me we don't have anything to keep, I'm telling you you're full of it. That's not true. We have players that you can keep, that you can build with, and that you can be successful with. If you're telling me that, if you don't believe that the problem was more of a coaching scheme than it was the player, go and talk to Tracy Walker. Ask him what a bad coach do to good players. You don't believe me? Look what this man did. He benched Quinn for no reason. For Tavon Wilson. Who does that? Who does that? At the end of the day, this team does not need a rebuild. But then I ain't surprised because Easy also think that wins and losses is a QB stat, but that's another argument for another day.
Man, chill, man. This is a different argument.
But it's a stat. I'm not saying it's all on the QB. That's what I'm telling you. Differentiate it from a blame game to a stat. It's a stat. It exists.
Regardless of that, speak easy. I don't know how we let you put Calvin Johnson and DK Metcalf in the same sentence, but don't be doing that. I wanted to interrupt you as soon as you said it, but
I know. But if we're talking about a caliber of athlete, those are the type of athletes that you're facing. As a
Devontae Adams and D Hop. Let's say those names.
For sure.
Yeah,
at the position, you know what I'm saying? So shit. My bad. The goat came out of my mouth.
No. We're just having a good time, man. We're all just bros getting heated on football. It's a good time. But going back to the retooling thing, I think Dan Campbell said a very important thing, and that was when he was talking about his coordinators, and he said that he's not gonna want to bring a guy that just has a scheme. And to be honest, it sounded like he was alluding to Patricia, saying he doesn't want a guy that has a scheme and says, okay, I need to make these players fit my scheme. He was saying, no, I want a guy that's going to come in, see the players that he has ultimately at each game, and he's going to put his best players and scheme them against the other team's worst players. So to me, it sounded like he wants to have a team that's very malleable to the players that could really form the scheme around what talent they have. So that sounds like they don't want to rebuild either, because what Patricia did was the opposite. He was like, no, this is my scheme. We need to build the damn team into my scheme, which is just completely opposite.
And if you look at it, if we do what Easy is saying, which you already said Patricia did, we still at square one. This ain't no rebuild job, man. Julian McCoy can
to be rebuilt. Absolutely.
The defense don't need to be rebuilt. What are you talking about? We're only missing a few pieces.
Who's the best player on our defense, Luke?
Right now?
Yes.
I mean, that's debatable.
That's debatable, right? Because but the thing of
but listen to me real quick. If a good team's, that question is not debatable.
That's not necessarily.
Yes, it is.
That's not necessarily
Aaron Donald. You're talking about you look back on like the Broncos when they won. The answer was absolutely Von Miller.
Who's the best player in the Legion of Boom?
Richard Sherman.
Man, you crazy.
That's your opinion. That's your opinion, because like people would say Cam Chancellor.
Yeah, some people say Rick Wagner, Bobby Wagner, Earl Thomas.
Like, what are you talking? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like great defense have multiple great players. Like,
and that's the point.
Like, who's the best player on Green Bay defense? Like I'm saying, it's not easy to just answer.
They don't have an elite defense. I don't think.
Like, neither do defense.
But we don't either.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
hold on. This other part that he's missing. He just said, "Oh, they don't have an elite defense," but they won a division. They got home field throughout the playoffs. And if you look at them right now, you said it yourself, they don't have an elite defense. What I'm telling you is this. There are pieces on this team that you can still win with. It's not like you got to scrap this whole defense. You scrap the main problem with the defense, the head coach. He was the problem. So now that you scrap that, all you got to do is ask yourself, seriously, Tracy Walker was serviceable before this guy got here. He could be serviceable after. You add another safety. Problem right there, you got a better secondary already. Linebacker, you add a linebacker. If you come out, your linebackers is Jared Davis, rookie linebacker Parsons, and I don't know if you want to keep Jamie Collins. That's still a better linebacking core than what it was with Christian Jones, who just couldn't seem to find his way off this team. Go to the D line. Trey Flowers. You're going to bring back Okor. You still got Julian Okor who can play DN, and you just got to add a D tackle. That's not a rebuild. You acting like I'm trying to tell you go out and find all the greats.
Is Christian Jones even on the team next year?
Man,
No.
Thank you, Lord.
I mean,
like, no. Trust me, he gonna fix that linebacking core. I'm praying Jared Davis makes the cut, but you'll probably see Jamie Collins just because he's under contract. But I think they gonna do something to that linebacking core. Trust me.
And look at this Saints linebacking core. Alonzo, yeah, he lit it up. He fired. I mean, I ain't saying he bad, but come on, Demario, whatever his damn name, David. I mean, look, it's not like they're going out. They're finding a team. You so concerned with trying to get this and get that when they're saying we're building a team, and that's who's winning. You didn't see the Kansas City Chiefs? Who them linebackers is?
The Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, who are they linebackers?
Luke, those like that defense is still like better and been better than ours. Our defense is atrocious, bro. Like
listen. I love.
Literally the worst.
I'm gonna start calling you Swift, man.
Team, Luke.
I'm gonna start calling you Swift and Boomerang because you know how to dodge the shit out of a question. That's not what I asked you. My question is this:
Frank Clark.
Frank Clark.
Frank Clark Jones, the big ass defensive tackle they got. Like,
listen, I didn't ask about a D tackle. I didn't ask about a D tackle. I said, who are the linebackers?
I don't know.
That's my point. You see what I mean? You don't have to go through and do this address thing, but you got to have talent at every level. If you look at the Saints, you look at Kansas City, you look at Green Bay, you look at all the teams who are in the playoff and winning. Hell, go and look at the damn Bills. They have talent on each level up the middle of the field. D tackle, linebacker, safeties. That's what it is. It's been a formula for life. You don't got to blow that up. You just don't.
Marcel, man, did you get a chance to speak on this? Do you think it's going to be a retooling or more of a rebuild?
My idea of rebuild is not blowing stuff up, by the way, completely.
And what exactly is your definition of a rebuild?
Rebuild, just like starting the process new, like bring in new fresh blood. Like you don't like the defensive line. I think is fine. I think you can work with that defensive line. I think schematically you put those guys in the right spots. Like they could do something for you. But rebuilding is like building, like putting pieces on pieces on pieces. We need whole fucking like new pieces on I think secondary and linebacking.
So you don't think any of our players
are
good? So you don't think any of our players are good? Like if I name you a player, you don't think we have any good players on defense?
On the defensive line, we have good defensive players. I think Tracy Walker can be a good defensive
Amani Oruwariye, Okudah.
Obviously, but we can't say. I can't tell you that they're good because they haven't been good.
Oh, come on.
They haven't showed us that. I hope that my man, you know what I'm saying, Okudah ends up being good, but you can't tell me that they're good.
Right, but
we've seen Amani definitely be good in spurts though. Like that's without a pass rush to help them.
Yeah. What J-Mo's saying is like you don't need to go out and get a cornerback. That's pretty like even though Okudah, you're not saying he's a stud already. You invested a third overall pick, so that position's good. You know what I'm saying?
Then why in the hell do we have a 2-year deal with
Trufant?
His name is Bob Quinn.
With True, oh yeah. I mean that's what Bob Quinn does, man. If he wants a tight end, he's going to get the best tight end in free agency, and then he's going to draft one 8th overall. If he wants a cornerback, he's going to get one of the best ones in free agency, and he's going to draft one 3rd overall. Man, that was his style. Got to overkill, I guess.
First person.
All right, let's get into this next topic. I'm sorry, I think I'm cutting out. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, I can hear you, man.
Oh, okay, I hear you guys again. All right, moving on. So another thing Dan Campbell talked about was he was asked about Matthew Stafford, and when he was asked about him, he said that he thinks he's a stud, and he also thinks that he's a very tough quarterback, but that he said that that's really all he could say on the situation right now. So given him saying that, he clearly has respect for the quarterback position because he was in New Orleans under Drew Brees. And, he was also asked if he thinks that quarterback position, an excellent quarterback is, a winning team is dependent on that. And he said, no, it's not, but it definitely helps. So it's clear that he respects the quarterback position. He respects Matthew Stafford and thinks he's a stud and he's tough. But given Stafford's current contract and kind of what's been happening the past 2 years, he's been kind of battling nagging injuries and whatnot, and the fact that they might want to retool or rebuild. Do you guys think that Stafford will be a Lion in the 2021 season? Let's start off with you, Easy.
Yeah, man. I love when Easy beats dropping them facts, bro.
All right, J-Mo, let's start with you, man.
Easy, you there? I guess not.
He trying to rebuild his microphone.
He said, "Be right back." Oh, sorry, I didn't catch that in the private chat. He said, "Be right back." I'm the worst host ever. Go ahead, J-Mo. What do you think about Stafford? Do you think he's gonna be a Lion in 2021?
I do, but the thing where Campbell was talking about the quarterback situation, I think he means it'd be nice if you had Mahomes, but you don't need Mahomes because you can have a backup come in and you can still win a game. So that's the type of philosophy. Look at New Orleans. I mean, you don't necessarily need Drew Brees, but you can have Taysom Hill come in. So I think it's more like that. But when it comes to this season, this next upcoming season, I do think he'll be on the team, and they're gonna have to evaluate everything. And I don't think they're gonna be making any quick decisions or anything like that. Just get rid of this guy, get rid of that guy, and destroy and rebuild and do all of this crazy stuff. No, we're gonna evaluate what we have. We're gonna review it. We're gonna talk about the vision that we want, and we're gonna keep moving forward. And I think all that coincides with Stafford being here next season.
All right. I'm honestly with you, man. I go back and forth because I go back and forth because it would be a nice time to cut him based on his contract because there's an out and we'd be cutting him for minimal dead money. But then again, like, why would we if we're just retooling and we're going to go for it? We're trying to be contenders, right? And based off of just the wording that Dan Campbell has been saying and just his vision with Brad Holmes on how they could, build this team to really work with the talent they have and that they really like the talent that they have. I think that you're right, J-Mo. I think that we're going to keep Stafford. I'm excited about it because, I don't want to let him go, man. He's my man. He's my dude. Luke, what do you think about this? What do you think about what Dan Campbell said about Stafford? And do you think he's going to be a Lion in 2021?
Yes. He is going to be a Lion. But listen, it's not even funny. Let's be honest. If you're coming in and you're trying to evaluate, that means that if you're moving on from a person, you have something better or something that has more potential or greater. Who the hell's on the roster with that? Y'all okay with Chase Daniels? I've asked y'all this question repeatedly. If you're okay with Chase Daniels being a quarterback for next season, then cool. Move on with Stafford. Okay? If your idea is trade Stafford, we need trade capital. You didn't want it when we went after Everson Griffin. Don't ask for it now. Don't start it off like that. Okay? We don't need trade capital. If you hit on your picks and you do it the way you want, if you do it the way it's supposed to work, it works that way. If this guy comes in and say to himself, I really enjoy Chase Daniels, or I'm enjoying David Blau, and I'm going to start everything off with that, he would be foolish. Because let's flip it. Let's flip it. If that quarterback was Deshaun Watson, if that quarterback was Aaron Rodgers or any other quarterback, and he came in and told me they got these big contracts and I can get so much more draft capital for them, let's trade them. This fan base will go nuts. It'd be tiki torches and everything on fire. He has to come back.
It's funny that you brought up Deshaun Watson, man. What do you think about that? What if we somehow traded or cut Stafford or whatever and got Deshaun Watson? What would you think about that?
I would think that we made a mistake and that the football guy approach didn't work, because guess what? If you're getting Deshaun Watson, that means you're trading draft capital, right? The same draft capital that you're trying to obtain. So
they said in one scenario, they said our Matt Stafford, our first this year, and our first and second picks for next year.
Whoa, the devil's a liar. The devil's a liar. In the words of my favorite movie, the devil's not welcome here. Okay, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Let's be honest, people. I asked this earlier when I went live, and I said, who had the better roster, Houston or Detroit? I had somebody who had the audacity to actually tell me that Houston had the lesser roster, and I said to myself, well, wait a minute, how? They're not talking about blowing up their team. They said we got to move on from that idiot. So how they got the lesser roster? But then I said to myself, here's a guy who was on the team who had an MVP season, and that team still went 12-4. That's not his fault. He did his job. But the coaching was so bad, that team went 12-4. Why should he now turn around?
4-12.
I'm sorry, 4-12. 4-12. My bad. 4-12. Yeah, because they didn't do well. But why should we consider him if he's not ready? Like, it doesn't make sense. No, I'm not doing it. If you're getting Deshaun Watson, then that means you just mortgage your whole draft. Okay? And if you're mortgaging your whole draft, don't come to me talking about when you want this team to be better, because that just sounds like some mad and stupid stuff that don't work in real life.
Okay. I mean, I probably agree with you. Is there any scenario in which you would trade? Like, what would be the least amount of value? Like, what if we traded Stafford and a second round pick? Would that still be too much for you?
Kiss my ass. No way in hell I'm doing that.
Well, they're not taking. No, I mean, but they're not taking a second round pick in Stafford. Listen, they're not going to take a second round pick in Stafford for a 25-year-old quarterback who just had that season.
Well, that's not the case. It's not just a 25-year-old quarterback. It's a 25-year-old quarterback that doesn't want to play for you anymore and won't play for. If that's the case, I don't know. Based off his cryptic.
Yeah, but they're not. Listen, you got to understand. I don't care. Listen. if you got Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Rodgers don't want to play for you, you'll rather Aaron Rodgers end his career than for you to take a stupid deal like that. Is this? They're not gonna. You're not. That give me something that's realistic. Realistically, they're gonna want a first. They are. And there's no amount of first I'm willing to give up as a Detroit Lions fan. Not with 5 picks, I'm not. Not when you're sitting at 7th overall. Not with next year's draft.
Well, I don't know about that. So, all right, we can move on after this question, but like this is another follow-up. So if you gave up a first for Deshaun Watson, do you not believe he's a franchise quarterback? Because you'd be giving up a first for a franchise quarterback if he was on the board. So I don't see the problem with that. Like if it was
the problem with that is this. The problem with that is this. If you're giving up a first, you're giving up a first plus a player plus some more draft picks. And so
I don't agree to all that. I'm just saying if it was just a first, like if it was just a first.
But if it was just a first, then a lot of teams will be tossing they had in the ring. You see what I'm saying? Like if all it was is a first, other teams will come in like, well, we give you a first and a fifth. If all you want is a first, we give you a first and a fifth, right? Like come on, like it's not just gonna be a first. So I don't, as much as I love the hypothetical of it, that's one part. The other problem is this. I just understand that at this point, you have a unique situation where you can literally bring somebody in as a rookie, much younger than him, let him sit, chill, and groom. Yes, you wouldn't know what he is, but if you go out and get Deshaun Watson, you still got to go out and add more talent, and his contract gonna take up a large chunk. Y'all thought Stafford contract was something. Go and look at Watson's contract. And our cap ain't lit like that. So if you moving on from Stafford, okay, cool. Like, but move on from Stafford and then go and get Watson, and then you're gonna be mad when we can't get nobody else. Now what?
But here's the thing about that fan base. They always mad about something.
Yeah. No, Marcel, man, what do you think about the situation? Marcel, what do you think about the situation with Matt Stafford, man? Dan Campbell said he was a stud. He said he was tough. They talked about retooling. What do you think about Stafford? You think he's going to be a Lion in 2021?
I'll answer that by answering you a question.
Okay.
If Stafford is if you trade or cut Stafford for any means that DC or Holmes would like to get, do you have a backup plan in place?
At the quarterback position, you're saying?
Do you have a backup plan that I want to say can carry up that type of talent at the QB position?
Right. Yeah. The answer is clearly no for the Lions, for sure. They definitely don't have a replacement right now.
And another thing, are you willing to have a first-round rookie QB start in one of the most dangerous divisions in all of football? You have to face Mac twice a year, Akeem Hicks twice a year, Preston Smith twice a year. And not to mention that Vikings defensive line, which has not done us any favors. So that's going to definitely kill their confidence. So, and another thing, why would you bring Watson here where it's pretty much the same situation talent-wise?
It's exactly the same situation. 100% the exact same situation. But because it's Deshaun Watson and we think the grass is green on the other side, we hype.
Why would you shoot yourself in the foot that way?
I don't even want it for contract reasons. Like what? Like I'm trying to get away from paying a quarterback that much money. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
I agree.
Yeah.
Easy, man. Easy. I know you have at least in my opinion, controversial takes on Stafford. What do you think about this Stafford situation? Dan Campbell said he was a stud. He said he's tough. Looks like they're going to retool the team. They might want to rebuild. What do you think? Do you think that Stafford's going to be here in 2021, and you think he should be?
I think at a $19 million cap hit, you got to keep him. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep him as a mentor to whatever younger quarterback you're ushering in, if that's the goal. I mean, that's as simple as that. You'd have to wow me with a trade to be okay with getting rid of Stafford this year, unless you unless you come out and say this is a rebuild. But like, if your goal is to compete, then I think, and you're going to eat $19 million in the scenario where you get rid of Stafford, you have to keep him this year.
Plus, if we wait till after this season, we get $20 million for letting him go. I don't care where he go. Trade, we get even more money if it's a June 1st cut. So it's like, yo, why would you take the financial hit now and you're trying to build a team? It doesn't make sense. That's like you going out and buying a fixer-upper and deciding that, you know what, I'm gonna spend my whole budget on the kitchen, but now the roof ain't never been fixed. The basement got flooded, and so now you're trying to figure out, well, why nobody want to buy this house? Ain't in there for the buy. You got a nice kitchen, but everything else is messed up. That's the Lions. The Lions have nice pieces around, but you can't decide to put all your energy on one and then take a cap hit and then say, oh, I'm trying to build a team. It just don't make sense. It don't.
Yeah, it's at that cap hit, like I said, you have to wow me to be okay with getting rid of Stafford this year.
Now listen.
The return will have to be absurd.
Yeah. Like somebody come to you with something stupid. Like you remember how the Cowboys came for Roy Williams with that first, third, and 5? They come. Right. Let somebody come with a 1, 3, and 5 for Stafford. So why? Because that capital, I'll take that capital. A first, 3, and 5.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because I'm gonna still be in position to get my quarterback at 7.
What quarterback?
No. I want 135 with a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know about 135. I guess that is a lot. I don't know. I'd have to think about it.
Listen, he's 33. He's been hurt each of the last 2 or 3 seasons, and he's on the last 2 years of his contract. Somebody come with a first, third, and the 5th. You take it because guess what? You can still get your quarterback. You still have another first pick to add some more talent. The only problem is when you take that deal, you're basically throwing in the towel for that season. Because I don't want the rookie to play that first season. If it ain't a preseason game, I don't want him in.
Well, okay, yeah, that's fair. No, that's totally fair. Guys, there's 40 people in the chat. There's like 18 likes. So if you get those likes up, it'd be very, very, very much appreciated. So all right, there was other stuff that we wanted to bring up today, but also, if you're in the chat and you have a question, here's the time to drop that question in the chat. We've been on for over an hour. I don't think we want to be on for too long, so drop your questions in the chat and we'll get to them. But let's go back to TJ Hawkinson. What do you expect from TJ Hawkinson, Marcel, coming into this year now with Dan Campbell as the head coach? Obviously he was a tight end coach and / assistant coach for the New Orleans Saints. And Hawkinson's a huge part of our offense, man. He's one of the biggest pieces of talent we have. What do you think next year is going to look like for him?
I mean, even with his, reduced road this season, because you and I both know he should have been way more targeted this season.
Yeah.
And he's also got that Pro Bowl nod, so mission accomplished. But I expect a little.
We could have had Ed Oliver.
What did you say? We're
not gonna talk about that.
No, Ed Oliver was real and Andrew's guy. They was like, we could have got Ed Oliver.
Ed Oliver's in the AFC Championship, right? I'm just saying.
Oh yeah. He's on a very, 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 very better team than what Hawkinson is. Oh, and Ed Oliver, I'm just curious.
Hey, look. If I let it go, you should I wasn't going to say nothing. I'm just
saying. I'm just trying to figure out
he's helping a team win. Over. Hawkinson's not helping his team win. Is all I'm saying. Bro.
Hawkinson's team win. Come on,
wow.
Hey, what needed help on the Lions? We had the worst ranked. What was it? Oh yeah, it was defense. That's what.
What does Ed Oliver's numbers look like?
Which player has the better high ceiling though? Oliver or Hawkinson?
Which one had the better ceiling?
Which one has the better ceiling?
Yeah, they're given position. I mean, that's debatable. I don't know. I mean, depends how you.
Listen, at some point, real, you're gonna have to let it go. Like it's like the song say, it's a TKO. Ed Oliver would not have been nothing. He's not even a perennial player on that defense. Stop playing.
He
Stop
had
playing.
3
All I'm
sacks.
saying was
And
our
this year
offense
it's
was fine
43
before
total tackles.
Hawkinson. Our offense was fine after Hawkinson. Our
Oh, my
defense is
God.
what's struggling, my man.
Our
It's
tight
not.
ends were not fine before Hawkinson. They were abysmal and they were horrible, and they brought the team
Terrible.
Look, I'm
down.
fine with picking a player anywhere as long as he's producing. You know what I'm saying? As long as he's like showing up for the damn team. Like
Like how you get underutilized and make the Pro Bowl?
Right.
Because I'll tell you why. No, I'll tell
I
you
don't
why.
know that he was
Because
underutilized this year.
No, I'll tell you why.
How
Because
good
he was
do you
the
have to
third
be?
best fantasy tight end. That's the real reason. Come on,
Oh,
let's
man.
be honest.
I don't care about
Man,
no
look at the
fantasy,
yards.
dog. I don't care about
That's
no
the only
fantasy.
reason why he was relevant. His name was in the national media. Let's be honest.
whoa.
His name been in the national
Wow.
media since his first
This
day.
is a great year,
His
bro.
name been in the national media since his
I
first day.
got so much love. I got so much love and respect for Real because Real is like, I'm not throwing in the towel on Ed Oliver. He don't care what y'all say. Ed Oliver's the Terminator, and he's not throwing in the
Ed
towel.
Oliver, Devin Bush. There was a few people. Montez Sweat's.
Oh yeah,
pretty damn well.
Oh, shoot.
Montez Sweat ain't doing nothing, man. You gotta get out of here.
That's why you got
Montez Sweat.
Oh,
Montez
shoot.
Sweat. Montez Sweat with that defense around him. Montez Sweat should have double-digit sacks, double-digit pressures, everything should be double-digit. Everything. Montez Sweat has been serviceable.
All right. All right. So now that we're talking, so Luke, let's say we do get a quarterback at number 7. Who's going to be on the board? Who do you think? I'm waiting for questions to come into the chat. I'm going to be honest.
Here's my truth. I believe that at 7, Trey Lance is going to be on the board. I think Trey Lance is going to be on the board. Obviously, Mac Jones is going to be on the board, and Trask is going to be on the board. I think that if these reports keep coming out, these negative reports about Wilson, he could slide. Either way it go, we're getting one of the top 4 quarterbacks.
Wait, what report's coming out about Wilson?
They're trying to say that they're giving him the same bill they gave Josh Rosen, which is that he's a diva, rich boy who's spoiled and don't do X, Y, and Z.
Damn.
And now again, this comes out from an unknown source, and it makes sense because if I want to deter you from taking somebody, yeah, he hot garbage. I heard he spits on his mother, and I heard that he told his father he'd kick his butt. So at the end of the day, I'm going to put out that too.
His purse.
Right? Yeah, he does it all, man. Like he's terrible.
Let me tell you something. Unless I heard something about Zach Wilson that was serious, I don't care what they saying. Like I saw him make a throw, and I was like, I don't care what you got to say to me. Like, no, I don't care. So, yeah, they can have fun with that. You know,
like I said, if you're gonna walk away.
And Josh Rosen, I was not sold on him before they even said that about Rosen. I was like, I don't think he's a good quarterback. I kept saying he wasn't a good quarterback, and I feel different about Wilson though.
To me, Wilson reminds me of Russell Wilson mixed with Josh Allen. He can make all the big throws, but he's so smart and understand that I need to get down. I can run around if I need to run around, but he's looking. My issue with him is one too many times on film, I saw him set his receiver up to get destroyed. Like I'm like, bruh, if I was your receiver, I swear on my mama we'd be fighting. Like I mean, he has set some receivers up to get killed. But his attitude is you're the most open receiver. You gotta make the catch. That's how he look at it.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Luke. I apologize. I thought you were done.
No, I'm saying with people like Lance, my only problem with Lance is he don't know when to slide. I don't know why he keep thinking he's gonna run everybody. I know you big, but damn, bro, like in this league, they will break your collarbone with that kind of stuff. Like, don't do that. So that's my knock on him.
Hey, look, man, I am really, I was so busy these past like 6-7 months. I have not paid attention to college football. Can you give me just a brief? Just who are these quarterbacks? I literally don't even know them. Like, I'm not a college football guy.
So Zach Wilson plays for BYU.
Okay.
The big knock that everybody has on him is, he only had one good year. Well, you know who else only had one good year? Joe Burrow.
Yeah, they say BYU was not that talented.
They say BYU is not that talented. Yeah, okay. I'm just looking at the throws he makes. Then you got Fields from Ohio State. You got him. Then you obviously got Trevor Lawrence from Clemson.
Right.
And then you got who did I leave out? Trey Lance is from North Dakota State University, the same college that Carson Wentz went to.
South Dakota, yeah.
South Dakota, that's what it is.
So him and Wilson are the two that the Lions are in reach for.
I think Wilson is going to go higher than Field. I think it's going to go Lawrence at 1. I think at 2 it's going to be Penswell, whatever his name is, and then I think that the Falcons will take Wilson at 3. I mean at 4. The Lions would then be sitting up there with Lance and Fields on the board. That's what I think gonna happen.
So, would you be happy with either of those quarterbacks, or?
Yeah, because I'm not asking none of them to play this year. I'm asking them to sit there, shut up, and learn.
I was saying, what do you mean by be happy?
Because look, man. Okay, so obviously, as a Lions fan, we had a long history of trying to find our quarterback. We found Matt Stafford. We've been, at least me, I've been in love with Matt Stafford, right, for his entire career because he's been the man, even though we haven't gotten it done, whatever. He's the best quarterback that has ever come here, and I love him for that, right? So the next quarterback to me needs to be that franchise guy. Otherwise, it's going to be like a Walmart brand of what I know my Lions team to be. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Did you watch my live stream earlier today?
I did not know.
Oh man, and I knew you didn't. That's why I said, because I said this exact thing. I was like, I'm selfish. I was like, look, if I'm losing Stafford, I want another elite quarterback of his caliber. Right. And I was telling people, because you're asking, the only 2 quarterbacks that I'm like sold on is Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson, only because I've seen them make throws where I'm like, yeah. Other quarterbacks can't make throws like that.
No. Wilson had a game.
Nice.
Wilson had a game where I seen him throw this. He threw a ball that was so on a rope. It was so on a rope that I was like, I don't even think that the defender could stop that if he wanted to.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like
he was in perfect position.
The caliber of throw with Wilson is just like I don't like, to me he's different than those two are different than, like, I would take Fields after that than like Fields and Lance. Not saying they won't be great, but those are the guys that I really gravitate towards, to the point where, like, okay, this guy could be an elite quarterback when Stafford's gone. The other two, you might have to build more around him, but Wilson had his arm talent, like, it's a different word, but his arm talent is just like it's incredible. So he has to do a lot of other things, but
it's the brain for me. It's the brain for me. Like I was watching the film, and you know me, I like to look for the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I'm really trying hard to find the ugly. The ugly is he would set a receiver up. But when I look for the bad, I was like, damn, he going through every progression. Sometimes he did make the wrong choice in his progression. But I'm like, okay, every college quarterback does that. Every college player does this. But even when he made the wrong read, I was like, you couldn't stop the damn pass. It was just that clean. Like, damn, look at that pass. And then you got to understand, this is one of the reasons why I wanted David Shaw so bad. You know how it's hard to get in BYU. That's why people right now, celebrities, going to jail trying to bribe to get their kids in there. Now you got people coming in for football, man. And you doing that?
That's facts.
That's crazy.
Thing about Wilson too, man. I like the things I like most about him watching him, like you said, is the brain, like the pocket presence and playmaking ability. Man, those are intangibles, man. Those are something you can't really coach, and I like that, because when shit breaks down, you need to make something happen, and he has that ability.
Plus with Wilson, here's the thing. This is another reason why, because I know a lot of Lions fans have been screaming this for the last 4 or 5 years, and this is the perfect time to do it. If you take Trevor Lawrence, if you take Fields, if you take Lance, if you take Wilson, guess what? Teams ain't blitzing you the same. Why? Because they can take off on you, and they will. They're not blitzing you. He gone. And the one thing about Wilson, when he takes off, he's taking off with the idea that I'm still trying to throw the ball. I've seen him pump fake a dude, and the dude really believes. Granted, the talent that they go against in BYU for other schools is different. However, I'm just looking at the quarterback, and I'm saying to myself, you had the presence of mind to pump fake and then get past the defender, like where the guy had a clean shot on him. He just shifted his body just enough to get by him and get the first. Like, he knows where the first down, the marker. You know, the player don't know where the marker's at. Like, seriously. he just seems smart. And with Lance to me is he's basically Stafford. He's a gunslinger with legs.
He's athletic, a little more athletic than Stafford.
Yeah, but the thing is, he don't know when to slide, bro. If I see him try to truck one more person, we gonna have a problem.
Hey, it's gonna take one time. It's like Reggie Bush against us in the Chicago game. It's gonna take one hit from be like, oh, okay, can't do that.
But that one hit could be the last hit. If he playing for the Lions, bro, you better
Right.
slide. Like,
But listen,
if you playing for the Lions, dog.
J-Mo, say it again for the hard of hearing. Say it again for the hard of hearing,
If you
man.
playing for the Lions, bro. Like, what you mean?
Bro, like but it is you look at the times where Lance be trying to do this stuff at, it don't even always be for a touchdown. It be like, bro, you went open field. Let us see another day.
I seen that one too, Luke. I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm like, bro, what? That was like a third down. Like,
Yeah, bro.
it's the second quarter, bro. What are you doing?
What are you doing, bro? He leaned into dog like I'm finna give you this business. I'm like, bro, no, we don't want that. We don't need it. We don't need that kind of energy.
Exactly
Well, hey, what do you guys think of Brad Holmes? Selecting Jared Goff. What do you guys think of that? And does that concern you about him choosing our next quarterback?
He didn't have a choice. Like, look at the quarterback class that year. Let's be honest. Like,
I mean, immediately after the draft, though, I thought it was pretty clear that Carson Wentz was better. I don't know what happened to him now.
Yeah, but look
after
at Carson
his
Wentz
injury.
right now, and like, that's what I'm saying. Like that whole, it was Carson Wentz, Dak Prescott, and Jared Goff. Like that quarterback class wasn't really.
I mean, Dak Prescott and Carson Wentz seem like, to me, I still think they're a better pick than Jared Goff.
Yeah, but
Jared Goff wins.
Nobody was thinking
Jared
like
Goff
that.
Jared Goff be winning. Like, I don't like him, but he be winning. That's all I'm saying.
I don't think he made none of those picks. I think he did his job. He scouted. He gave his reports and said, "Hey, this is talent, and this is the talent that we want." He didn't say this is talent for first, second, third.
Luke, where are you getting that information from, though? Like, you can't give him credit for good picks and then say the bad picks.
No, that's my point. I'm not giving him credit for no
job.
picks.
He should have been like, no, this isn't the quick QB. You know what I mean? It's Dak Prescott or it's whatever. Like, he didn't identify that. You know, I'm not saying that he should have or that he should be perfect, but I'm just saying, like, you got to give him the fault.
The difference between him and those other QBs are so small. Like, it's really like, come on.
Listen, the point I'm making is this. I'm not saying that what you're saying is wrong. What I'm saying is I don't think he made none of those picks. I think he provided the reports. This is my view. I think he provided the reports and his reason why these are talented players. And that's what he did. And then they went out and said, okay, they looked at the talent and said, okay, we need this for this and this and that. And then they made the final decision. It's just like if somebody come to you right now and say, "Real, on your channel, I think you should talk more about sex." And you may be telling yourself like, "Nah, I want to talk football." And they like, "Nah, but more sex sales." And you like, "Nah, I heard what you said, but that don't mean I got to do what you said." And I think that's what happened with him. I think he literally brought the reports to him. They accepted the reports, and it went from there. I mean, because there's a scout on the Lions who wanted Aaron Donald, who beat the table for Aaron Donald, and was told by Jim Caldwell, "Well, I thought we was done with these little guys. We're trying to get bigger, faster, and stronger." And that's why they didn't get Aaron Donald.
Right.
Now,
I remember that.
If we had Brad Holmes would have saw the film and said, "I don't care if he's little. He plays. He balls." And that's the difference. So I think he does reports. I don't think he makes the selections. Just like I don't think he hired Dan Campbell as a head coach. That is not his style.
I wonder if taking on these new responsibilities as a GM, such as like cap and free agents and like other things like that, that's going to take away from his scouting ability. You know, I'm kind of
what's going to take away from his scouting ability?
Yeah, like it's going to take. I'm saying because like as a scout, that's what you do. That's what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? 40 hours a week. You're not really concerned with salaries. You're not really concerned with trying to make trades and whatnot. Like you're just scouting. When you step into that GM role, it's more than just that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he was.
I mean, we already talked about they're only asking him to do certain things. The main thing they're asking him to do is scout at this point.
Right. He'll get more responsibility as time goes on. But right now, they need somebody who's coming in ready, locked and loaded for the draft.
Yeah, and like we're not one of them teams with like just a GM and no president of operations, and like we got a GM and president of operations, and Sheila has her hand in like a lot of things. So I think they believe in Brad Holmes apparently. So they're gonna let him. I think they really believe in his ability to find talent. Like that's the one thing I'm taking away from that.
I want to hear the vision that he had, man, because Dan Campbell said it, and I think Rod Wood or somebody said it about his interview, and I just want to hear the just mindset and philosophy, because I don't know, I just want to hear that.
Let me give it to you. He said it many times. You want to find it? It's directly said on the video with him with Tori for the Detroit Lions YouTube channel. What he said is this: his goal is to work collaboratively with everybody within the organization and to come up with the perfect plan based on what the head coach wants and what he thinks is best for the talent. So in other words, there is no hierarchy. He has the power to veto certain things, obviously, but the decisions are going to be made by the head coach, and he has to be able to see what the vision is. So here's the vision. Build a team that reflects the image of the city. That's what he said. He said he's going to assist the head coach in getting the best talent for what that vision is. So if the best vision is non-quiet boy who really want to slap you in the face, then that's the player he's going to take.
That's what we need.
I like Michael Parsons and stuff, but my problem with him that year he took off scares me. And he doesn't move the needle, in my opinion.
Hey, and so Dan to get him right.
Who?
Dan.
Well, like I said, I think players will play for him. Don't get me wrong. I think players will play for him. That's the most important part. But there's just no top 10 defensive talent this year. I just don't see it. If the Lions come out and take another cornerback, fans gonna have a cow.
Oh no, man! Like, why would you even put that in the air, bro?
I'm just saying.
When people say take a receiver too, I'm like, don't even.
No, look, that's worse than a receiver. Like, at least we need a receiver. You take a cornerback, I might have to not watch the season. Like,
I mean, listen, if they did take a cornerback, let's say they decided to take a cornerback at 7, they thought that he was the best pick. I'll be okay with it as long as you're moving Okuda to safety.
I mean, you even keep Okuda at corner. Let him get this year.
You just can't listen. This man, he did this in college. He did it here. The cushions he gives leave so much room for people to do stupid stuff. They said he was physical. He ain't physical at the line of scrimmage. He ain't beating nobody up. He getting beat up. It's just, to me, the only pick the Lions can make with that first pick is quarterback. You're going to have all the time you need to get defensive players, rounds 2, 3, and then, obviously we gave a pick away for Everson Griffin, greatest trade ever.
Unless they trade back.
That Griffin trade, bro.
Unless they trade back to, I don't know, 10, between 10, maybe 20.
Who's picking at 10?
Damn, I had it up earlier. I don't know.
If I'm not mistaken, I thought at 10 was Denver. So if you're trading back to 10, you still would be in the range of getting a quarterback. But to me, if you're in the top 12, you got to find a quarterback. And if you're, and here's the other problem to it too. There is talent that's going to be there that can come in and help immediately this year. At offensive line, receiver obviously can come in and help immediately this year, but that's a luxury pick for us. You're not going to tell me the receiver's the best talent out there. If I hear one more person telling me about how great Devontae Smith is when he's not better than Jamar Chase, I'm going to lose it, bro. I'm going to lose it.
Yeah, I don't want a receiver at all.
We don't need one. We don't need him.
Yeah, you don't need to draft the receiver first round regardless either way. Like, look at the Steelers organization. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just not a need for any team, especially in the first round.
Nope, it's too many of them. Look at they getting ready to let Chris Goodwin go because Tyler Johnson, that guy who played at Minnesota that I kept telling us that we should draft, but we didn't take him. I'm gonna leave it alone though. They getting ready to let Chris Goodwin go, which another guy wanted the Lions to take, but we're gonna leave that alone too, because they got Tyler Johnson, and Tyler Johnson has shown that he can do what Chris can do, and so you can find receivers, and it's not hard. People forget. They act like it was so hard to find a receiver. We got Kenny Galladay in the freaking 3rd round. Travis Fulgham, I think, 5th or 6th round pick. He okay.
Yep. Receivers are dime a dozen.
Yeah, it's too easy.
I'm with you there. Let's get to these coordinators, though, man. What do you guys think about Aaron Glenn? Because I don't know too much about him, and it's kind of confusing with a first-time head coach. Like, I thought he would go for a DC with experience.
Nope, it don't fit the mantra of the team.
Wait, what's the mantra? Aaron Glenn?
The mantra, Aaron Glenn fits the mantra of the team. If he went and got a more experienced defensive coordinator or a more experienced offensive coordinator, it doesn't fit the mantra of the team. The mantra of the team is this: they don't gotta like us. They don't believe in you. They don't believe in me. They don't believe in Aaron Glenn. They don't believe in Ike Hillier, if he's the OC or not. They don't believe in none of y'all. But what we can do is make them respect us.
Is that the guy from the Ravens?
Who Ike Hillier?
Yeah.
You know what? I remember Ike Hillier playing receiver for the Giants, so I can't tell you where he been coordinating or coaching.
Who's the guy that's the Ravens quarterback coach?
Urban.
See, did you guys see that Marvin Jones and Mohamed Sanu both like retweeted it with like emojis?
No, what did the emojis look like?
Like it was like the eyeball emojis, like oh, like I see you. You know what I'm saying? Like the eyes emojis, whatever. And
oh, really?
Yeah, wow, because that was their positional coach back in Cincinnati. So I was thinking, man, that'd be cool if we brought back. I mean, this is ridiculously hypothetical scenario, but if we got him, brought back Sanu and Marvin Jones, and got AJ Green for a cheap contract, and had a reunion of the Bengals, but.
Hey, Stafford.
Stafford and AJ Green.
Who you think put AJ Green on the mix? Right. What do you mean? Hey, y'all laughing and y'all joking, but all I know is I would be very happy if Marvin Jones was still on this team. That's just me. But
I mean, let's be honest. If you keep Marvin Jones, see if it's become your slot, you can add another receiver down the road, or you can go to free agency and you got a plethora.
Keep Sanu, man. He did really well. He did better.
Sanu got to go. Sanu got to go. I'm gonna tell you why Sanu got to go. Right. I seen Sanu a few times in game. Ball thrown to him perfectly, and he dropped it, or he wasn't aware of his footing on the field. And that to me is like I'm really big on little things because the little things become big, and to those little things bother me. Plus, why pay Sanu that kind of money, veterans money? When you're coming into a draft and you get another receiver, or you can go into the free agency, you can add a guy like Corey Davis. You can add a guy like go and look at the free agent receiver.
I mean, it was a minimum deal, but I see what you're saying. Yeah, I don't know. I saw him come in. Like you're saying, you saw these small things. I saw him come in, and the same week that he got signed to the team, I think he got 100 yards that game, and he was the best receiver on the team.
Yeah, he definitely maximized his role. But he's one of those players who's not really going to see a field unless guys are hurt, So I don't.
I think he's different than Marv, man. Marv is still very, very good, and he got a couple. Marvin Jones got a couple years left being really, really good. So, and it's just chemistry with the team. Who knows if we keep him, but to me, he's a valuable piece, and I like the fact that if we lose every receiver and Marvin is still there, he can be the number one receiver in some games. That's very useful, man. If we replace him, we're gonna have to really replace him with a really good receiver.
And what makes Marvin so special is, which is something that you don't see Sanu doing. Marvin attacks the ball when it's in the air. He's going to the ball. He's like, I'm not waiting for it to come. I'm going to it. When you look at Sanu's like, come on, ball, get here, catch it here, better catch it right here, swing. No,
I don't know.
Go and get the damn ball. Go and get the ball, man. You can get Sammy Watkins to do the same BS if you wanted to go that route. I mean, seriously.
At least it'd probably be a little more expensive.
Probably get Watkins.
I mean, I like him. Watkins, Curtis.
I'm just saying.
Hey, you get Sammy Watkins to Stafford.
Listen, I'll tell you like this. Let me answer this question. Here's what I think about Aaron Glenn. I love that he's an unknown. I love that he's gonna have to prove himself. I love that the one thing he's going to make sure is right is the secondary. Because when you look at the secondary right now of the Saints, I mean, you got Lattimore, and then you're trying. You got Marcus Williams, but it's not like
still on that team.
The stud players, he's making it work with what he got.
Yeah, but he's right. There's some old people on that team that he's still making it work. And so to me, what I think about him is this. They're going to create the culture of nobody believes in you. It's the same thing that happened with the Eagles when they went and got their first Super Bowl. Like right now, they are literally like like I don't know if y'all watch like cartoons like I do. I watch animation stuff, but like if you ever watched the Young Justice series, when the Young Justice they had the sidekicks and they had all the sidekicks basically like, yeah, we're gonna put y'all a little front that y'all know, but y'all not gonna do no real missions, and they had to take over for themselves to prove that they were heroes, not sidekicks. That's what I look at with this staff, this team, this player. They are here to show you like y'all ain't gotta believe in us, but you're gonna respect what we do, and that to me is the mantra. Now, if you don't like that, we can go back to Dagger Time. Okay, we can do Dagger Time. With something like the White Power Ranger, or one of the Power Rangers said it. It's Dagger Time. We can go back to that.
No, hell no.
Yeah, that's not no Dagger Time. I'm done. We get in that one.
Never again.
Yeah, we can get in that one. I feel like that's what I said it before too. I said it earlier on my live. I was like, I feel like that's what Patricia yelled out whenever he was like in the bedroom with his wife, trying, trying to get things going. Like, hey, baby, it's Dagger Time.
it sounds like a Power Ranger saying to me. Like, just think about it. It's like something that you hear from a Power Ranger. Like you can just hear it overinflated.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, fuck, man. Let's not talk about him, man.
I'm just saying.
Dagger Time.
Would you want John Johnson safety from the Rams? No.
Maybe.
Nope. No.
I'd take Levante David.
That's the big one, right? That's a long one.
I'd take Levante David though.
Now, see, listen. I'm gonna be quiet because I gotta do this video. I promised Jimbo that I was gonna do this video, and I'm gonna do it because Levante David is going to hit free agency, and he's going to be a real serious target for the Lions. FYI, people, you heard it here first.
I hope we get him. I'll be very happy.
I had a question.
At this point, getting Levante David is an upgrade to our current linebackers.
Yeah, I like Levante David. I wanted to ask though, because they kept talking about building this team based off like the city, and I think it was a fun question I wanted to ask people. But like, what do you think that is? Like, what's the identity translated to football?
Well, I don't want to go back to basketball, but look at all three championship teams. That they all reflect our city. So that's kind of the answer. And I want a football team just as gritty.
Okay.
I think just underdog is the main word.
Right, just as team oriented, So,
I like J-Mo answer that because he hit the nail on the head.
Yeah,
it's that I'm a fight. You ain't gonna come here and be disrespectful, or I'm gonna fight. It's going down. This right here. We have pride in what's going on here.
But you like identity, like I guess like scheme wise, like would that be like a rushing and defensive team? I thought defense immediately, like when that's what I was thinking. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about like
it's basically saying that it's basically what it's gonna say is in the terms of the scheme, when you show up to our stadium or when we show up to yours, pack a lunch, it's gonna be a long day. Because what we finna come in here and do is remind you that what you thought you knew about us was all wrong. It's like I said, I talked about this earlier with Najee Harris when they tried to play Najee Harris and try to say that he made it look easy running against Ohio State. And he's like, yeah, they was lighting my ass up. What are you talking about? He's like, easy? No, did y'all see them playing? They were shooting the gaps and they was lighting my ass up. That's a good football team over there. That's what he's saying.
Like he wants the kind of team that when we win, it's like the Jaguars game, and when we lose, it's like the Chiefs game that the team barely won, and it was a miracle. Like that's the type of games that we supposed to be having. Yeah. He's trying to act like when we win, we destroying people, and if we lose, it's just barely. And that other team that beat us knows, because if you look at the post-Chief interview from Andy Reid, they know that they barely just got out of there by the skin of their teeth. So.
Yeah. That makes sense too.
Like I remember James Jones one time he said Ford Field was quiet. That type of things need to never be said. He's trying to reverse that. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't want to go into I feel like the only person who scared to go into Ford Field, and I don't want to say scared, but Aaron Rodgers, he the only one who really know. He like, yeah, I don't like going there. I don't like playing there. It ain't cool. And you look at his records and the way he plays there, so. That needs to be every team. Aaron can't be the only one that knows that it's hard to play there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, every team. I believe that truly too. Like what you guys are saying is actually absolutely the truth, because like he also said when they asked him to translate that to X's and O's, he said, "We're gonna find your weakness and we're gonna tear that shit up." Basically, essentially, it's like what he said.
We're gonna keep like in other words, it's if you refuse to cover the tight end, then the tight end gonna have a good day. You don't want to stop the run, we gonna keep running the ball. You stop the run, we gonna dot you up down the field. Whatever you do, I'm gonna find who your weak link is, and we gonna expose him.
It's like when you're sparring with someone, you catch him with some body shot, like, ooh, oh, you don't like that. You see those movies where they be like, man, what happened to you? He be like, you think I look bad? You see the other guy. That's what he wants. He wants the other guy to know you showed up. You got your few punches in, but guess what? You knew I was here. I bet you don't want to get into this no more. I bet you that. So, like I said, to me, everything, like I said, it's nobody knows what's happening, and that's what's beautiful. That's what y'all got to embrace. But y'all also got to embrace that if this year is not a wash, you don't look at the fact that they lost. Look at how they lost. Don't look at it and say, "Oh, they were competitive." I don't care where they're competitive. What I want to see is this: how competitive were they? Are they closing out games? Because one of the biggest indicators of a terrible head coach is when you have fourth quarter leads and lose as many times as we was doing. That's all on the coach. It's all on the coach. That's 100% a coach issue. So, to me, it would be interesting to see how we go about doing it. But like I said, I'm excited to see what they do because you don't know.
Yeah, no, 100%. Hey, Tactical Puma has another question. Is Galladay going to cost more, less, or the same as Corey Davis and Juju Smith-Schuster? That's a really good question, man.
Less than Corey Davis.
You think he's going to be less?
He'll cost more. He'll be more than Corey Davis. He'll be less than Smith-Schuster.
Really? What? No, I think he's going to be the same as Corey Davis. Yeah, I think he's going to be more
hands down.
I think Chris Godwin is going to be the only one making as much as Galladay.
Yeah. When you look at Corey Davis is not going to be trying to get nowhere near the kind of money that Kenny is trying to get. He ain't stupid. He ain't done enough to warrant that.
He's good.
When you go, he is. But when you go to Juju has the reputation. Juju has shown that he can do certain things. He's going to warrant the same amount of money. But I think Juju's going to, if he's leaving Pittsburgh, he's getting paid. If he's staying in Pittsburgh, he's taking a pay cut.
I think I think all of us are probably thinking he's staying in Pittsburgh.
I do too. I think he's staying in Pittsburgh.
Right? So yeah. I mean, if he leaves,
Corey Davis is really
get overpaid. But if he's staying in Pittsburgh, I can't see him getting paid that much.
Corey Davis is really good, but he hasn't been consistent. Like the most consistent performer out of that entire group is Kenny Galladay, and he's done it on bad teams. So like, Corey Davis, between some of the injuries and the fact that who was throwing him the ball, how you gonna be consistent with that? They had that man with Marcus Mariota.
They run so much too,
and they run
like drop balls and shit.
He has, but you know who was drop balls? DK Metcalf, and everybody loves him. See, I'm a Seahawks fan too, so I see what Metcalf do, and I be want to throw up sometimes. I'm like, crucial point in the game. Here come the drop. Damn you.
He got
never fail.
Good plays though than bad plays. So he definitely don't have that many drops. But I know what you're talking about. I've seen it too. He's dropped some.
Yeah, and I'm just saying.
Galladay don't really drop shit.
No, he dropping stuff. He the reason that most people wanted Stafford gone from that Thanksgiving game. Stafford hit him dead in the numbers in the end zone for what would have been the game-winning touchdown. He dropped it. The next play, they threw the ball and it was intercepted. Everybody blamed Stafford. It's like, okay.
That's because people are idiots.
Who's going to cost more, Galladay or Allen Robinson?
It's the same. It's the same.
Same deal.
Galladay, Allen Robinson, Chris Godwin, I think they have the same value.
Wait, but ain't Galladay younger than Robinson?
I thought they both like 27 or something like that.
No, I thought Galladay was like 26 or 25.
Galladay 27.
He might be a year younger or something.
Huh. Okay, I could kind of see that being the same then. I was looking at it from the standpoint of with Robinson.
Yeah, he just turned 27 in November.
Robinson did?
Your top dog has a really good question.
Galladay.
Wait, hold on, Paul. So you telling me we got a Lions fan base going nuts over a 27-year-old receiver?
Yep.
Yeah, because we drafted him, man.
He's
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, man, he went to a small school, man. It took a lot to make the league, man. Hey, man, hey, that's the fact. It's a fact. Playing from quarterbacks, man. You know, Galladay from the
small
street,
school.
man.
Northern
Hey.
Illinois, man.
Galladay
looked
had
up
a
that
hard life,
ranking.
man.
that turned it around.
So
The
what?
rosters that some of the pieces they
Yeah,
added.
Chris
that
Godwin
year.
was 24.
Damn, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, when Chris Godwin came out, he was like 21. He was balling at Penn State. I just knew we could get him.
Yeah,
I knew we could get him.
Allen Robinson is 27 too. So,
well, you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I would take Allen over Galladay because Allen wants to be here.
The food's done.
Okay, so I would take him over it.
Luke, good question for you from Top Dog. Do you think we could have gotten a better GM if we still had that 6th-round pick?
You know what? Perfect question. Listen, perfect question. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna say yes, and I'll explain to you why. Because what that would have mean was we never allowed for that guy to be here to make that trade in the first place, which means that we could have got whoever we want because we wouldn't have been in a flooded market. You had Denver join the GM market. You had the Falcons join the GM market. You got the Texans in the GM market. You got the Jets in the GM market. Look at all these people who flooded the GM market. If we would have fired that general manager and head coach, what we were supposed to, we don't give up that 6th-round pick. We don't get a 5-game rental, and the guy never makes a trade in the first place. Thus, you get a better general manager and head coach.
Who would be the better general manager and head coach?
Well, listen, it would have been whoever you wanted. Listen, but I'll give you a name. I'll give you a name because it would have been whoever you wanted. You would have been.
Anyone we wanted, man. Anyone would have came here if we would have had that.
No. What I'm telling you is this: you got to go back to it. What led to that 6th-round pick being gone? Us keeping Patricia and Quinn for a 3rd year. So what I'm saying is to follow the rabbit hole is this: if Quinn, because if you remember, I always said that if you keep it for a 3rd year, they are not allowed to do any more roster moves. Ain't no trades, ain't no sign, nothing. This y'all team, make it work. And if you got rid of them, who are you in competition?
Man, he didn't. All right. I mean, this is a joke question, but he didn't ask, what if we fired Quinn and Patricia last offseason? He asked if we still had that 6th-round pick.
Right, but what I'm telling you is this. We would have still had the 6th-round pick because we wouldn't have had nobody who was willing to trade that for no Everson Griffin. That's my point. You wouldn't have had nobody who would have been willing to make that move because they're trying to save their butts this year. They would have been thinking for the future. I mean, you think Okuda was a pick for the future? No, that was a pick for now. So,
what?
Yeah, he was a pick for now. He wasn't a pick. They lost Slade, and they tried to replace Slade with this rookie who's supposed to be shut down. And the only thing that happened was he got shut down.
Man, no, right. Should have just kept Slade, bro.
Just saying. Everything happens. That 6th-round pick would have never moved if he didn't stay here. Now, let's say if they did have more draft picks, yes, some people do want more draft capital. Period.
Right. Okay. All right. Is there a good? I can't really see any questions. A couple people were asking, is there a good linebacker in the draft that we could draft at number 7? Is that possible?
Parsons isn't the only one.
I don't think he's worth it at this point because he's been out for a whole year. A whole year of no football. I mean, look, Zeke was out for 3 games. He came back fat. Look at James Harden. Go to sports when you out.
He'll be all right. Nah, I don't see any more questions.
All right, guys. Well, it's been an awesome show. It's an exciting week to be a Lions fan. Obviously, it's a week where we have a new GM, new fucking leadership. It's going to be awesome to see where the direction of this team goes. But I'm excited to be here. Hopefully, I'll be around more often and be more active in YouTube. But J-Mo, why don't you start us off? Say your piece to the people in the chat.
Shout out to all the people in the chat. If you haven't seen my video on the thoughts of Dan Campbell, make sure you check that out. But shout out to Real coming back and hosting a fire show, man. We always got the discussions going, man. I'm glad to see you back. But I do want to say one thing about Dan Campbell is he understands what it's like to be a Lions fan, because he was here with 0-16. So I don't know if he'll be successful, but he will try his hardest. And the one thing about him is I believe that he's going to do the things that he says he's going to do. It just got to, translate to wins. I think Sheila and everyone is building something great, and it's only up from here because, it's not that hard to live up to the last coach. But shout out to all the people in the chat, man.
All right, man. And our guest, Marcel, it's good to have you. Why don't you say your piece to the people in the chat? And if you have anything to plug, if you have a YouTube channel or anything, here's your chance, man.
Well, all I got to say is #wait and see. We've all been down this road where a new GM and coach come in and we got this their expectations are a lot higher than they are. And all I got to say is just stay patient, wait and see. Let's see what the plan is. You don't have to agree with it, but just see it through. If you don't like it, you don't like it. Otherwise, just stay patient. And plus, I'm also the admin of Realist Truest Detroit Lions page also. So if you want to stop by, come on down. We discuss nothing but Lions. And if you have Twitter, mine is SmittyCell19. We can talk Lions over there. It's been a real honor being here on this show.
Absolutely, man. It was good having you, man. Speak easy, man. Why don't you go next? Why don't you say your piece to the people in the chat before we get off?
Shit, man, I'd just like to thank you guys for tapping in with us and choosing us, to listen to Lions talk with us, man. I appreciate that. That was fun. And might I add, your boy's only 15 subs away from 1K. So, if y'all like the DSA, once in a while we have the show, we bounce it around and whatnot. But also, man, you guys check out my stuff too, man. I really appreciate it. Only 15 subs away from 1K. That was my goal before the new year, but your boy got that YouTube jail. Got YouTube jail on my record, but we out now, and we're only 15 away from the 1K. So I appreciate if y'all head over there and drop a sub afterward, and everybody else in DSA too. I believe everyone's in the description. I'm not 100% sure, but thank y'all.
Hell yeah, man. Hey, subscribe to Speak Easy Sports, man. If you are in this chat right now, there's like 35 of you in here and you're not subscribed to him, go there right now. You want to be one of those day one subscribers that was there before 1,000. You want to be there before monetization and he starts making real money. You know what I'm saying? So get over there and subscribe to his channel right now, and definitely subscribe to everybody in the DSA. It was a really great show. It's fun to be here and talk about something positive after this season. So let's go. Let's do it. One Pride. And Luke, why don't you close us out, man?
All right, good people. Again, thank you all for showing up. I don't want to keep it too much longer. I know everybody got things they got to do, so I'm going to get right into my positive quote. Today's positive quote comes from me, and it's a very simple one. Wake up, people. See, some of y'all been living in dream la la land for too long, and it's time to wake up. It's nothing wrong with you actually just accepting the reality that you live in. This is a cool thing to do these days. In fact, I will even challenge you to not only accept this reality, but to take that reality and change it and mold it into what you want it to be of your dreams. There's a simple thing that was told to me a long time ago, which basically says that I am the captain of my ship. And if you are the captain of your ship, you need to steer it in a direction that makes you happy. So that way you don't have to dream about it. You can actually live in that reality. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure you hit that like, subscribe, check out my man Easy, because he's only 15 away. Hopefully we get him there tonight. And make sure you subscribe to every person in the building. With that being said, don't be no chump. Please do your research.